What's up, guys? Alex here from After Work Nerd Out. Hair coming off. Welcome to today's video that I will be doing now. Nice. Should I make this any cringier? Today, I want to talk about something that I have spoken to a couple times about. We're going to talk about some Backlash today. The Backlash specifically today is surrounding Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, the Marvel movie, coming out in a couple weeks. Time of filming, the March 8th. Brie Larson, who's playing Captain Marvel herself, was on a press tour, and TLDR, I'm looking at an article right now. I'm just going to read to you what she said, and and somehow some of the people's reactions to it. Audiences are not allowed enough chances to read public discourse on these films by the people that the films were made for. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. Now, what I'm gathering from this horrible statement, according to some people, is that what she means is a lot of these reviewers, which might be probably talking about she might be talking about more like, I think it wasn't really like an attack or anything. She just used a weird example, but my perspective is some movies are made for everybody, obviously, like anybody can watch them, but there are some movies where some reviewers look so deep into it and try to pass some kind of agenda on it, and then because of that, maybe some parents see it and they don't take their parents to see it. Like, I saw one guy, what was it, on a Lego movie, the second part, it was like a Facebook thing, and he was just like, for some, I don't know, nobody asked him, but it was just like, I'm not taking my kids to see this because of Tiffany Haddish, because she has a problem with cops. And I'm like, I don't think she's going to be talking about that in the movie. And it's a movie that you take your kids. So he decided not to take his kids to go see it. So that, I think that's what she means by this, saying how these movies, like A Wrinkle in Time, which was not well, it was mediumly received by a lot of critics, who the movies obviously weren't made for these critics to watch or to understand, rather, like the message and stuff. And because of that, maybe some people didn't take their kids to see it because they thought, hey, my kid's not going to learn anything or doesn't care about it if this guy doesn't care about it or whatnot. That's how I personally am interpreting this quote. Straight up. That's on a surface level, that's how I will, and I know myself how I would have interpreted it at the time. But of course, the internet being the internet, and this really, I don't want to say toxic because sometimes they have a point, but this community of people that are just get mad at everything. It's so a lot of people interpreted this quote as Brie Larson, what she said is somehow attributed to the movie itself. So because Brie Larson believes that she would like to see more of diversity in reviewers and critics, that somehow the entirety of Captain Marvel is about that, or that idea. I'm not one of those people that get mad at diversity and stuff. I celebrate it. I just don't see why people really get mad at this. But apparently people thought this as an attack to all 40-year-old white dudes, I guess. Because they were saying, this is wrong. What's wrong with, feminism and feminazis, which is the worst word in the world, because you shouldn't combine anything with Nazis. No matter what you believe in. I mean, unless you're wearing Nazi logos. I don't know. Brie Larson is saying that all white men should be fired from their jobs and replaced. And I'm like, I don't think she meant that. It's just what are you talking about? And of course, there's one YouTube channel that I hate watch it. I'm not gonna shout it out because I really don't want to shout it out. But there's this channel, and the guy on the channel, I mean, talk about thirsty for views, man. He's like a counterculture kind of guy. The more women are gonna appear, and it's just what's gonna happen. There's gonna be more women in movies, and there are gonna be more Marvel solo movies with women. But this idea of a feminist and social justice warrior takeover is kind of dumb. I don't see it 100%. For example, in my Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse spoiler discussion, I talked about a guy who made this guy Armand White. I don't mind shouting him out because I think the whole world hates him. And this guy Armand White talked about Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse, saying how it was propaganda for pro-Obama or something and I was just all right, you didn't see the movie, you looked at the poster and you made a choice. Because in the almost 2 hours, probably close to 2 hours time of Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, not once did Miles ever say, yeah, or like, it wasn't about him being half black, half Latino. There was one line, like, they didn't even really talk about him being half Hispanic. There was just him speaking a little bit of Spanish. Like, I think he said Spanish in one line to his mother, and that was it. And somehow this guy said, "Oh, this is the spreading of bull like nonsense." He needs to get clicks from other fucking angry people. And from my point of view, that movie was a universal movie. It didn't matter if you were watching it and you were black or white. It was about being a good person and about answering, and doing the right thing no matter what. You know, you, when I say you, I mean Armand White, you're the one that made it political, and I feel like a lot of people are making Captain Marvel political. We got to think about this for marketing. Okay, they put her and Hero in one of the commercials, and it was like her, and then it went to Hero, and it's just like they're like, oh, this is what, like, it's clever. I mean, it's not like these commercials are saying, and then this is what I hate is like people look into subtext, and it's like they act like when a commercial comes on for Captain Marvel, it's just like men suck and you should watch this movie because a woman's in it. Like, I don't get that message. Like, I don't even when you go into the comics of her, she started off in the 90s as Miss Marvel, where she was pretty cool. Like, I didn't mind. I liked her out. Like, I think that, like, I think what she really, my favorite thing about Miss Marvel was just like, she just did her own thing. Then they decided to make her Captain Marvel and upgrade her and give her like a big spotlight, I was just like, all right, cool, let me check this out. What I really liked about her reboot of Captain Marvel was the fact that, well, not really reboot, her push into the limelight. Not a new character, but when they introduced her and even when they gave her new things, it was like classic comic book to me. What I mean by that is, like, Wonder Woman back in the day was always a badass, but she had the invisible jet, and and it's like people loved it. I love it. I don't care that it's like stupid, silly, and pointless. I don't care about that. I think it's fun, and then it was just a funny little thing. And when they rebooted Captain Marvel and when they revamped Captain Marvel, they gave her a literal plane with a propeller that is a space shuttle, and she can go through space. Mind you, she can just fly on her own, but they gave her a little plane that goes through time. I mean, not time, goes through space. And I think that to add something like that in like the early 2000s, or I think it was like 2010, to add a goofy ass thing like that, it just meant like not only are they giving her and putting her into the spotlight, but they are honoring old school comics by giving her, like, yeah, we made her so strong and she's a woman and everything, but she still has like the old school tropes of comic book characters. And that's what I really liked about that comic book. Everyone got mad, feminazis, and women are coming to take our freedom. I don't know what people are mad about. A lot of people were bugging out about this. Apparently, Captain Marvel is not projected to make less money. To that, I mean, I really don't even think, it's still going to make millions. It still has more pre-orders in the first week than a lot of other movies. And we don't even get to see really the pre-orders in, I think, other countries too. So it's going to be a huge bump in other countries. But they got to understand too, like, I'm going to take a wild guess to say that there's about 100,000 angry, people about feminism and whatever about Captain Marvel. Now, when Beauty and the Beast came out, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. There was similar backlash, also kind of stupid. There was like, I think altogether from what I saw, there was like 2 minutes of like involving someone who was gay. They wanted Disney to censor or just take out that whole thing where Josh Gad's character, and just so that there's no gay stuff. That's what they wanted. And in turn, Disney said, all right, you guys aren't going to see the movie, then goodbye. We're not going to give you the movie. And that was it. So for a bunch of guys, and they are guys, that are mad about like this fake feminism and taking over, and they want to fire all men, and it is like, to them, it's like, everything you're doing is futile. It's like, when a movie comes out and you don't want to see it, you don't go see it. If that sounds like a foreign concept, but like, this isn't some sort of attack. This is like when we did our first E3, kind of like, we tried doing coverage, we were just starting out as a channel. This was like 3 or 4 months into starting on the channel, and we were looking at articles and everyone was talking about how, a female protagonist in this game and in that game and in that game. The feminists, they're taking over. When you actually look at the titles and you take the time, which like an asshole I did, when you try to see how many male protagonists are compared to female protagonists, and even counting female and male, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey at the time, where you can play as a male or a female, even counting those as female protagonistic games, it was like still like 1 to 20 games. So this feminist takeover that people like to talk about is really stupid. But I will make you guys happy, people that are watching that maybe don't have the same opinion as me. There are plenty of people, which I've seen on Twitter and on different social medias, of people that do want to replace all white 40-year-old white dudes and get rid of them. So I'll give you that there are some people, but that's a fraction of people that just like to see more diversity and stuff in movies. There are way more people that are okay with seeing more diversity led movies and, you know, having women led movies and stuff like that. There's way more people that support that than the ones that want all white guys dead. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Just like how there's plenty of on the other hand, there's plenty of people that want all of one race dead, but we shouldn't lump all of you guys together. So in a way, it's kind of hypocritical to have that kind of thought. Now, Brie Larson, for some reason, felt that she needed to clarify this because of all the people that decided to twist her words and make it political. She then said, "What I'm looking for is to bring more seats to the table. No one is getting their chair taken away. There's not less seats at the table. There's just more seats at the table." Again, it's exactly what I said. I mean, the internet isn't, you know, finite. You know, what she's saying is maybe if some more people of different, you know, if there was more diversity in the critics, then maybe a lot more movies would get a better shake. People still act like it's just something like she's telling everybody, I don't know, man. And there, like I said, there's that one guy that's just nonstop making videos about like Captain Marvel this, feminist that. And I just think that's dumb. What I'm trying to say is there's good and bad on every single side. But when you look at things like this and you decide to interpret it one way, you kind of look like an ass. Like, I'm looking at this from all perspectives. I fully understand that there are some, you know, feminist types out there that do take it too far. There are some other groups, on the other hand, that take it too far. I don't want to name them because screw them. But they're like, screw anybody that just wants people to go away. Like, that's just ridiculous. You can't just expect people to just all go away. That's stupid. And instead of like all these sides, at the end of the day, I really feel like Disney is just going to make a movie with a character that happens to be a woman, and they just want to do it. And instead of just enjoying this movie of a character that I have spoken to men and women, and everybody loves Captain Marvel. And if you're one of the people that are complaining about this whole thing, it's like you're just trying to ruin everyone's fun, and that's just kind of lame to me. And the only reason I'm making this movie is because I like to look at things in a very objective standpoint. There are plenty of movies that come out with a straight up, clear-cut agenda, but they're not the ones that you guys think it is. Like, if you think with Black Panther, for example, everyone says there was some sort of agenda. It's just like, what agenda is there? There was like, the bad guys were bad, the good guys were good. There were bad black guys, there were bad white guys, there were good black guys, there were good white guys. The story, it wasn't everyone talking about, like, it wasn't, the whole movie wasn't like everyone talking about being black and how better it is than being something else. It was just people, it was just a story. You were just projecting your political bias into that. That's what that is. Plain and simple. I respect everybody and everyone's opinion. So I'm going to let you guys know this, to you guys and to all these YouTube channels that are all talking about how, like, oh, the women, blah, blah, blah. You're going to get through this. I believe in you. I think that you guys should reach together and just talk it about amongst yourselves, and just maybe make a support group about Captain Marvel and Brie Larson's hurtful words. And I really just hope that you'll be safe and that you can get through this movie and its existence in general. And I can't wait to see all of your angry Facebook posts that make no difference, and everyone's just gonna move on from this. I hope all the best for you guys. That was all fake. I don't really care what happens to you guys, but if I pissed you off, hit dislike. If you agree with me, hit like. If you like what I said and you like some other of our content, you can hit the subscribe button. I am here to try to make entertainment and try to make some people laugh and open up some eyes. Maybe have people see things a little more objectively. You can hit me up down below in the comments and I will talk to you. But if you use the words SJW or libtard, or if you just plain old call me fat and it's not in a clever way, I'm not going to answer you. You're just a waste of time. But if you want to talk and have some counterpoints, I'm all for it. If you guys want to have if there's a bunch of questions, maybe I'll answer it. Who knows? Maybe I'll answer them on a different video. Who knows? I want to have conversations with people. I'm not trying to be one of these. I'm not gonna say it because it's the end of the video. Most people have stopped watching it. I think these assholes that are making videos like twice a day talking about how Captain Marvel, this Disney movie about a comic book fictitious hero, is somehow gonna ruin society and all 40-year-old white guys are gonna just disappear and die, or whatever he thinks is going to happen. It's obviously a he. I have no problem actually talking about these things. I'm trying to be objective about these things. These are my opinions, whatever. Not Greg, the robot. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you guys soon. And if you never heard me say this before, and I think more than ever now is when this matters, my credo, the words I live by: be a nerd, not a dick. And I'll talk to you guys soon.